I would say is just, for people to take advantage of the fact that there is an event that's like this. And this is an event that's pretty known, like, as well throughout the country and throughout the world. There's the Edinburgh Festival and there's other festivals that those people know about Hollywood Fringe. It's a big deal. And I think we tend to take for granted the thing that's closest to us. But I want people to go and experience the whole thing, to really go see live theater, watch live stream theater, just get a taste of everything, all of the different events. There's nights that people get together at a club, and there's the socialization part of it, the socializing part, and it just experience the whole thing. It's a really fun, really cool. You'll meet like the best people. You'll just have a blast, and you'll want to keep coming back, and maybe it'll inspire you to want to do your own type of piece. I think that's the greatest part. That you go in and you're looking like, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that on stage. I didn't know you could like create something like that. That really makes me want to do it. So yeah, I think it's just I think it's phenomenal, and I want everybody to come check it out. I think you'll get hooked. You really get hooked. So my name is Josh Galitsky, and if you want to know more about the show Your Reason for Being at the Hollywood Fringe Festival 2021, watch this video. It's really interesting because, where do ideas come from and why do you want to pursue something? Especially in the world now where everything is a 15-second clip, everything is TikTok, everything is like, why would you want to spend 2 months working on, one particular thing when you can sort of like throw a lot of things at people? And I just, so I was thinking, what do I have to say? What's my story? Where is the world right now? And where am I right now? And a friend of mine had sent me a diagram about this concept of Ikigai, the Japanese concept of what is the meaning of life? What is your purpose for living? What gets you out of bed? Why do we really put everything and pour everything that we have into a life that is going to make us happy? And I looked at this diagram, and I thought it was sort of like the holy grail of what we're looking for in life. So, the diagram is, these intersecting circles, and Ikigai is really, what are you good at? What do you love? What does the world need? And how do you get rewarded for it? How do you get paid for it? And for artists, it's usually that last one is the hard one. It's like we start to figure out what we're passionate about. We start to like learn our craft and get better at it. I always try to, when I created my company, The Sacred Actor, the reason why the word sacred is in there, because I think that artists, it's really a sacred trust. We do the things that other people don't necessarily do, where we roll around in the mud and we talk about feelings, and we express this deep stuff in our pain and our struggle in the world and the suffering, and then other people get to share that and get to go like, oh wow, I could see other people. It's inspiring to watch other people really pour themselves out. So I always try to teach actors and performers that what we do as artists is really important, really important to the world. It's like, Robin Williams and Dead Poets Society, it's just that whole thing of like, law and being a doctor are all, incredibly important to sustaining life, but the arts and music and poetry is what we stay alive for. And I've always really, believed that. So, this idea of Ikigai and studying it a little bit and realizing that, people in like Okinawa, they live to be like 110, 120. And it's like, what is their secret to life? And not only like longevity, but like they really love their lives. And why? And they love their lives because they stay active and they keep doing the things they love. And, I heard a story of a woman who's like 100 years old and learned how to ride a bike for the first time. And, and it's just like people get together and they connect with one another. And there's just a sense of life being this blessing and this amazing, energetic, wonderful thing. And so I wanted to kind of take people through that process of, what is our struggle and what is it that you're fighting for? What's the one thing that you can't not do in your life? And why do we want to be artists? It's not an easy life. Why do we want to do anything in life, that's a struggle, and what are the things that are actually worth trying to navigate that struggle? Because we know, everything takes work. Everything is really difficult in life. And so if you're going to pursue something that's really difficult that you're going to have to navigate, it might as well be something that you love and you're passionate about and that you want to get better at, that you want to learn your craft and keep going. So that was sort of the impetus, just a simple little diagram a friend sent. And then I went, that's it. That's what I want to work on this summer. So what I've done at the beginning is sort of create that safe playground where people are able to feel like they can share their work. The work, it's not, I always say it's not therapy, but it's therapeutic, because we're getting at the real stuff. In order for people to really do dynamic work, it has to matter to them. And theater being, the medium that they want to express it. And so, so we go deep, and so far the process has been people, figuring out what is their struggle right now and why do they keep struggling. So, for instance, one person in the cast, she's struggling because she's out here and she's living, in LA and wants to pursue her dream, to be an actor. And it's lonely and it's really a difficult life. And she has her family back home in Australia, and they absolutely love her and support her, and they support her dreams. And she has friends that are, starting to have kids, and she's missing out on all of that stuff, this life that she had. And so there's the pull of, following your dream and also living a wonderful, comfortable life surrounded by the people that you love. And so that was one of the elements that we were working with, with her, of like finding her Ikigai, finding her purpose. Why do we leave like the people that love us and surround us? Why do we have something that's propelling us to be somewhere else? And it's been really interesting walking through that push and pull with her. And each person in the cast has their own particular struggle. Some about is being an artist, some about being just a human being and trying to be a good person in this world, and all of the obstacles and all the things. The theme that always comes back to me, and it's especially true of this piece, is that in some way we all feel like we're less than. We all feel like there's something missing. And whether it's that, a voice of a parent or a teacher or a friend or an enemy, at some point in our lives that make us feel this sense of not being enough. And, and then the media goes after that, that's how you sell product, is you tell people you're not enough, you need my product. So every one of us is struggling with that sense of like how to be enough, how to accept yourself, to love yourself, to be able to serve in the world. I mean, life is mostly about service, and how do we serve other people? Well, we have to figure out what we're good at and figure out what we love and figure out how we can make the best impact on the world. So that's kind of, that's been raising its head, this idea that, and I think that's where the art lies. The art doesn't lie in like having the answers. The art lies in the struggle to try to get there. And I don't think we ever completely arrive. We have dreams and we try to live those dreams. And sometimes the road goes in different directions and we find new dreams. And sometimes we plug away and we keep going after that dream that means something. And we all have different motivations of why we're going after those things. And some of those motivations are that one person that said, you'll never make it, that motivates us to go forward. But it's always like trying to go deeper too. Whether, being an artist in any way in life, in any industry in life, and really wanting to be the best at something. I think the motivation always starts off with something maybe that's negative, of like, you can't do that, or like, who are you to think, and we carry around the ego voice of, who do you think you are to be able to do that? And so to me, life is so much about that ego voice versus that soul voice. And that's kind of like this, I think the struggle of art and the struggle of everything in life really is that you got the two voices, and the ego voice is always just trying to stay safe and keep the vessel from running out into the street. And the soul voice wants to try and risk and fly and do all kinds of things and really taste life and and also be able to serve with all the gifts that we have to give. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the gist. I think I want people to feel a part of the equation, first and foremost, that they're watching something that's interactive, that there's not that wall there between, performer and audience. And I want them to laugh. I want them to see themselves in the people and the characters that are on stage. I want them to feel inspired. I want them to feel like, wow, I could do this. I could get up on a stage and I could experience this as well. And with just the subject matter of this idea of Ikigai, I want people to, I have a major driving force in my life of wanting people to be happy. There was a time in my life, especially around grad school, where things were competitive, where you're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to prove your voice and who you are. That's all gone for me now. I just want people to be happy. I want to serve, whether it's volunteering or theater. I want people to break their fears and work it up and to feel successful and to feel driven by their love and passion for something rather than fear. And I want the audience to see our process, to see that I'm not trying to create something that's perfect. I don't like when the product is very different than the process. A lot of times the process can be really grueling, and then you see this final product and you're like, oh, it's polished and shiny. Looks like everybody had a love fest with each other, and it wasn't that. I would rather, if that's part of the process that we've struggled, I want people to see that struggle. I want the product to be very honest sharing of what the process has been. If it's a love fest, great. Then the show is a love fest, wonderful. If there's been a lot of struggle, I've done shows where, 8 of the 9 people in the show were completely connected with each other, and one person was sort of doing their own thing, and the audience was able to see that. Was able to see, wow, this person seems really disconnected from the rest of the group over here. And it's like, yeah, that's what really honestly happened in the process. So, yeah, I want the audience to, I'd love them to go home and talk about it. I'd love them to feel inspired to follow their own Ikigai. We're all out here in this world, and we're all in a struggle, and we're all trying to pay our bills, and we're all trying to find what we love and do it. And I want people to realize that that's still a possibility, that you can still do what you love to do, and that you're never too old. I mean, when a 100-year-old woman rides a bike for the first time, and why do you do it? Well, because I want to know how to ride a bike. I think that if we all took that lesson and just said, you're never too old to do something, and to stop defining things by something else, by the media or by voices in our past. People are like, well, I'm not really a writer because I don't have anything published. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. It's like, if you have that writer within you and you have the joy for writing, then write, and you're going to touch somebody with it. Somebody's going to connect to it. And so I think that I just want people to be happy. I want them to do what they really love to do. And I want fear to stop being the thing that stops us all from doing what we truly love. And I hope that, my process, I hope people see that in my process, but I want my process to be that each person and the audience can look and say, I don't have to be afraid of that because, oh, I just found out that person is singing, in public for the first time. I can do that. I want people to understand that in order to break through your fears and go after what you love, you can do it in your own time frame. Some people can say, like, that's it, I'm jumping out of an airplane, I'm going to just do it. And other people are like, let me get up to the tarmac and tap my foot on there and then run away. And then the next day I'll go a little bit further onto the tarmac. And that's fine too. Everybody goes at their own pace, but we should all get to do what we really love to do. And we should get rewarded for it. If the world needs it and we're good at it and we love it, then there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get fair market value for that service that we supply to the world. And a lot of times acting and performing, singing, can seem like a really self-indulgent thing. And maybe it is a little bit, maybe it is, but maybe we all need to be a little self-indulgent sometimes, a little narcissistic sometimes. And to, you know, while we're doing the thing that we love, is that maybe we're helping people along the way too. And maybe that's a good thing. And maybe we deserve to get some type of reward for that. And if we're brave enough to follow that, then maybe we can make a career off of it and enjoy our lives. For one, it's live theater, you know, and that's really been missing. It's been really missing, I think, in our lives. I think when we first started coming out of COVID, and even this summer, you could feel the energy this summer of people wanting so desperately to connect. And I think if anything good comes out of this quarantine and this time in our lives, is people recognize, like, we need other people, and people aren't just window dressing for our lives. Like, we not only need the connection that we have with family and friends, but we need the day-to-day great little moments, you know, when you're going into the supermarket and somebody smiles at you and you have a connection. That's a real connection. That's something real, and it's a win-win for everybody. So I think my production offers a lot of different things. I think it offers humor, and I think it offers a lot of different ways of seeing things. And I think people should go to all of the shows. You know, I think, like, live theater is here, and, you know, it's a really small fringe right now. So it's much live theater as you can go to see. I think people should go and really support live theater and really, you know, connect as much as you possibly can. And I think that our show offers a little bit of a taste of everything. And the fact that the subject is about kind of going after your dream, I think makes people, you know, I think it can be really inspiring for people. So yeah, I think people should go to as much as possible. But, you know, my show, I think we'll have, I don't know, I think it'll be really a sweet experience for people to come in. And I think that we've put the time and energy into not just our process, but wanting people to connect, wanting to feel that sense of happiness and sense of connection. And so, you know, we're going into this new phase of COVID. We don't know what's happening, but we're all kind of really holding on to wanting people to be live in that room. And even if we have to wear masks, it's like we're still in the room with each other and having that tribal experience that you can only get through theater, you know, through that live theater. We're raising money for the show, and I'm putting 10% of that money for the show towards a good friend of mine in New York has an organization. It's a veterans organization, and he in the summer of 2019 he walked across country from Oregon to I think it's Vet Zero, yes, vetzero.org. And he walked across the country from Portland to New York. He did 22 miles a day to represent 22 veterans every day that commit suicide in the country. And so he brought light about homelessness and suicide of veterans in this country. So I'm going to give him some of that money that we raise, because it's an amazing organization. He wrote a book about it. He's an English teacher at Marist College and a great writer. And he wrote a book about it, and it really inspired me. And I was like, well, I gotta do a little something here along with, you know, what I'm doing. So yeah, your reason for being. It's I think it's gonna be fun. I think people will get something out of it. It'll be a really fun ride. Come to the show, come see some live theater, and we look forward to seeing you.